Right, you're very welcome back. Our next guest is an international best-selling author, writing stories with women's experiences at their core.
And she's incorporated her 30-year passion for tarot reading into her latest novel. Please welcome author Anya Bergman. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
We're saying 30 years there. So how did you first get involved in tarot reading?
Well, I got my first deck of tarot when I was a child. I actually don't remember where I saw it, but I just asked for a deck of tarot and I was given them for Christmas, even though my mum was a devout Catholic, actually. And I taught myself how to read the tarot from that age.
Really? Wow. What age was that?
I was about 11 or 12, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've decided to bring tarot into your recent books now as well. How many novels have you done at this stage?
I think this is my 16th.
16 novel. That's absolutely insane. So this new one, The Tarot Reader of Versailles. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yes, it's inspired by the French Revolution, events of the French Revolution and the Terror. And it's inspired by a real woman who was a tarot card reader in Paris at that time. But there's two main characters in the book. So Mademoiselle Lenormand is a real historical figure, a real tarot reader. And then there's an Irish character, Caitlin, who's fictional, but she's inspired by figures like Wolfe Tone, who got involved in the French Revolution, trying to get support for the Great Rebellion in Ireland.
Wow.
So these two women collide. One is a royalist, one is a Republican. There's a lot
And the
of drama.
Irish angle of it as well, the Irish
Yes.
angle of the French Revolution.
Yes.
How did you get, even researching that must have been difficult.
Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating. I did know a little bit about it. I knew there were a lot of Irish families in Paris, dating back to the penal laws because they wanted their children to have educations. They couldn't get them in Ireland. Someone like Daniel O'Connell, for instance, went to college in France at the time of the French Revolution. So I knew they existed. And then I was actually in Paris and there was an exhibition on Irish people involved in the French Revolution.
But you were saying it is based on an actual character that you knew that was in Paris at the time.
Yes.
So does the novel, and her fate, does that all depend on the cards?
I use that's a really good question because I use the tarot cards to structure the novel.
Okay.
So there's many different ways you can structure novels. Some writers are pantsers and some are plotters. And I like to play with different structures. And so this time I actually use the tarot cards as a creative tool to plot out her journey in the novel. So yes, she does use them.
And a big thing from your books, as we say, talk about women's experiences at their core. And a lot of this is about the French Revolution through the women's gaze.
Absolutely, that was really important to me. My purpose really as a writer is to raise the lost voices of women and marginalised people in the past. Particularly in the French Revolution, there's so many interesting female characters, from Marie Antoinette to revolutionaries like Olympe de Gouges or Claire Lacombe, radicals, so many different types of women involved in events right at the beginning of the revolution, but then they got suppressed.
Yeah, and this is going to be part of our next book club as well, so it'll be interesting to see what our viewers think of this as well. But can I talk to you about tarot reading in general? And the trend in TikTok at the moment seems to be so big. But with many things in TikTok, it can be quite exploitative. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think it came from probably the pandemic. Because, people started getting into tarot then. I got a lot of people asking for tarot then.
Why, during the pandemic, were we all looking for a way out and hoping...
we're going to be okay.
Yeah, are we all going to be okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
It's exactly like in the novel, during the French Revolution, everyone became obsessed with reading tarot cards because they didn't know what their fate would be. And it was the same during the pandemic. People were frightened, so they turned to tarot for support. What I would say about the trend on TikTok is I think it's kind of part of, different people connecting with tarot. I actually don't think it's exploitative. I think you always have agency and control over how you interact with things like tarot cards. So I think it's just a tool to help you.
Because earlier on when I was saying, remember you were saying to me, say if I got all the dark, the Grim Reaper ones.
That's good news.
But you were saying, so you were sort of saying that tarot reading in itself, when you display it, then if you get sort of a challenging reading, that that's you to turn your life around, or maybe you can take a different path. Is that the case?
Well, that's the way I read tarot cards. And I think a lot of people read tarot cards like that now. The days of the kind of the fortune teller predicting your whole life, we don't really do that anymore with tarot. So the way I would use them is to give you clarity to maybe a challenge or a present situation. And then the tarot might support what you really know. They're like a blueprint of your subconscious. So when you're getting your tarot read, you're probably kind of feeling a little affirmed. Or there might be warning cards going, you know, think about this a little bit. Maybe that's not the direction to go.
And would you point that out to somebody?
Yes,
So
yes.
there's a slight warning here. Maybe you
Yes.
want to do this or
Yes.
take a different course
Stop
of
asking
action.
too many questions now, because I'm going to be getting this read in a few minutes. And I'm starting to get a bit nervous.
Like, we're sort of saying, going back to the French Revolution, where did tarot come from? Where did the reading of the cards come from? Does it go back? Obviously went back before the French Revolution then.
Yeah, it's really interesting. We actually don't know exactly where they came from. They were first cited in Turkey in the 14th century, but they became very popular in Italy during the Renaissance. And they were a game, a storytelling game. So they weren't used for prediction then. It was in the 18th century when the French occultists became really interested in the connection between tarot and ancient Egypt, which is completely made up, but they got quite obsessed with it. And that's when they started using it for kind of a magical purposes.
I have to ask you, I think you said 16th novel, but this one's Anya Bergman. You've had a number of different pseudonyms. So there's obviously 10 books under the name Noelle Harrison, and then Evie Blake as well. Where do you pick the names? Or why
So-
do you
And why
change
the
names?
pseudonyms?
Okay, so Noelle Harrison is my real name.
Okay.
So I didn't pick that. That's my real name.
So you're not being Anya all along?
No, I'm Noelle, and actually people might know me from Black Rock Market in the 90s. I was Noelle Demosa, the tarot reader.
Oh, right.
Yes, I thought that was a good tarot name.
Nice.
And then Evie Blake, because I wrote a trilogy of literary erotica books. So it was important to change my name because I thought my Noelle Harrison readers might be a bit shocked. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
And then Anya was about, I was kind of changing the genre of my books, my branding as an author. So my last novel is also Anya Bergman, and that's called The Witches of Varden. It's about real witch hunts in Norway. And so I love meticulous historical research, but I bring in magic realism as well.
Okay.
Very
well,
cool.
the Tarot Reader of Versailles is out now, and as I say, it will be part of our next book club as well, which will be exciting
Right.
to hear what they
Come
say.
on.
But we're here now, so you're going to give Tommy hopefully not a challenging reading. So what do you do? Yeah, what happens?
Okay, so we've only got a couple of minutes. So we're going to do a 2-card cross, which is kind of the centre of the Celtic cross reading.
Okay.
And so what it's going to do is going to tell you what's going on in your present situation, and then it's going to tell you what's blocking you, or maybe a positive influence. We'll see what comes up.
Are you going to tell me? Oh, the card's going to tell me.
Well, I'm
Okay,
going to
right.
lay out the cards for you,
Okay.
and then I'll interpret them for you.
Okay. Do you want me to move this?
Yes, that's a good idea. Thank you.
So Tommy doesn't pick them then?
I do. Well,
His
let's see.
His subconscious picks them.
Oh, so you lay them out. Okay.
So we'll just take a second just to connect to your breath. Just take a nice deep inhale. Sigh out the mouth. And just connecting to your intuition. And when you feel ready, tell me to stop shuffling.
Stop.
Okay. I'm going to pick from the top.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh, they're really good cards. Hooray!
Oh, they're just two. Okay,
Right.
I'm just,
two.
well, we
The
don't really have
cross.
time
Oh, yeah,
to do
okay.
a
So you've
full-
crossed them. Okay.
Yeah.
What's that one?
So the first one is your present situation. That's Knight of Pentacles.
Can we hold it up to
yes,
the
I was
camera
thinking
here?
the Knight of Pentacles.
Right.
There we go.
And what's
What
he?
does that
So the Knight of Pentacles, all the knights represent quests. So it's saying that you're on a quest right now. But because it's pentacles, that's the earth element. So the earthy characteristics is talking about caution. So you are on a quest, you are pursuing a vision or a journey, but you're quite cautious about it. And then the Knight of Pentacles, it talks about a concern with finances, making sure everything's stable, and also a concern with health as well, with healing, with feeling well. So that's your present situation. situation. Now, the card crossing it is the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Wands. And that card is a really positive card. So you're not actually experiencing a block right now. It's saying you're going quite cautiously, you're taking your time, but it's saying circumstances will actually speed things up for you. It's saying you actually can't go as slow as you want. Things are going to kind of open up for you. And this card, the Eight of Wands, is a fire element card. So it's talking about excitement, travel, adventure, opportunities, career opportunities expanding for you. So it's like fast expanding horizons. So it's a very powerful combination and quite an interesting one because you're balancing earth and fire in your life.
Anya, you can come back anytime with readings like that. Right, look at that. There's my 2 cards.
There you go. More money coming to you, Tommy, like you need it.
I'm afraid there's no... Oh, there is, yeah. There is a bit of money, but not a lot.
Not a lot. Right.
More excitement and adventure.
Okay, well, I'm going to do Alan's next.
Anya, thank you so
Anya
much.
Bergman, your new book, The Tarot Reader of Versailles. Thank you so much for coming in to see us this morning.
Thanks so much. Now.